Okay, welcome everybody once again. We're gonna call our public hearing to order. The Town of Bear River is conducting this public hearing to consider a request for a conditional use permit at 470 Elk Drive. The intent is to operate a small pet treat manufacturing facility, Ugly Chews, in an area zoned for residential use. Come on up.
All right. So the last time I did any sort of job, it was
Hang on just a second. What's that?
There.
No, this is.
This is.
Oh,
okay, sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
No problem. Let's get you.
We'll get to that
I
here.
was like, no, hold on, we're jumping ahead. So the last time I did any sort of public speaking was in high school, so forgive me if I'm a little shaky.
You do it just fine.
But I have notes written down, so I don't forget anything. Here request a conditional use permit for 470 Elk Drive, occupied by my parents, David and Wendy Pratt. We are operating a small pet treat manufacturing company called Ugly Chews. Essentially, we get cowhides from local butchers, take them to our facility or shop, wash them with water only. There's no chemicals. We don't use anything besides water. Nothing getting in any sort of public supply. We wash them within 48 hours, so there's no stench, nothing that's going to really affect the neighborhood. We wash them. Let's see. After we're done washing, we pump all the water into the acre field behind their house. Basically just use all that water to water that field because our horses graze on it. We clean up all the residue and chunks from the hide and take it to the local dump. We don't leave it in the trashes. We don't do anything to make the stench any worse. We cover these with pressure washer only during normal working hours so as to not disrupt the community any more than a lawnmower would. We only employ the family so as to not bring in a lot of traffic. We do not have a storefront or sales from this location. We only sell online or at farmers markets. We have worked hard to mitigate our process and minimize the impact of our small business to the rest of our community. If you have any questions, please contact me or my dad after tonight and we'll happily answer anything you guys have.
Awesome, thank you. Open for comment. Anybody have any comments? Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear a lot of that. But as far as the processing goes, what's involved there?
So we get the hides from the butchers, and then we wash them with water only. We have a power washer. We have a bay that we wash all the hides in so the water doesn't get out onto the road. It stays where it's at. We only use water. There's no chemicals. There's no soap. There's no formaldehyde like you see in like a typical rawhide scenario. After that, we pump the water into the field over to water it, and then all the chunks that are left in the pit, we put in buckets and take it to the local landfill.
So this product is something that you're making, or is it rawhide?
It's not rawhide. Rawhide is a byproduct of leather, and that's where it gets a bad name because it's been exposed to formaldehyde, bleach dyes, things that you don't really want to be around. This is an all natural company. It's an all natural product. We try really hard to keep it that way, and that's the only way we want to go moving forward.
What about, is there a smell?
We were pretty good about staying on top of it so there isn't a smell impacting the community.
Is there like any, do you cook this or anything?
No,
Or is it,
we don't
there's no
cook
heat
it.
involved, it's just watching it dry in it?
No heat. We have 3 drying rooms that the second we get it washed, we cut it in strips and sections and roll it. And then we put it into the drying room and let it sit there for 4 or 5 days. Let the humidity get out of the room and they're dry and ready to go.
I don't know if I can talk or not, but my dogs have, like, I bought those. And I thought they were disgusting, so I didn't buy them forever. I love your parents, I'm really good friends with your parents, and I did not buy them forever because I thought they were disgusting, and I was worried they were gonna rot in my house, and they have hair on them, and they're ugly.
They're ugly.
They're ugly.
It's the name.
Yeah, they're so well named, but I'll tell you, the dogs love them, and there is no smell, there is no, like, there's some weird poops occasionally, but they're also outside dogs, so who knows? But I was really shocked that there is no smell, there is no, like, even as they've chewed on it, it gets all gross and disgusting, and they leave it out in the yard for 3 days. I've been really surprised and impressed, that it doesn't smell. And I figure if it doesn't smell then, it probably, now, to be fair, I'm way on the other side, so I don't know, but.
We try really hard to keep the smell away. We go to the dump daily when we're processing to make sure that there's no sort of rotting or anything like that.
Do you process a lot,
Um,
like every day?
we've been growing pretty well. I'd say the last 2 months, we've been doing about 20 hats a week. And when we started, we were doing about 2.
Gotcha.
So,
Well done.
yeah.
How long have you been doing this?
My dad started it with one of his buddies about 4 years ago in Riverton. Yeah.
You said you got a way to capture water as your.
Yeah, we have a pit and a carved over pit, so as we're washing it, all that water stays right where it's at.
What's the white residue on their things where you spray?
That's gonna be a lot of the spray off from the power washer. We try to clean that bank off at least once a week, but it's really hard to keep that clean, but I haven't noticed a distinct odor from that.
Well, my concern is I'm just down the street.
Yeah.
I've lived there for over 40 years. So I'm not real sold on this idea of changing zoning
Yeah.
for business.
Makes sense.
I feel encroached by this without really knowing what the outcome's gonna be.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of ways that we can work together, and if you wanna come and, work with us and help us, give us ideas on how to make it better, we are.
Well, I don't know how to make it better.
Yeah, well, for you
My
guys,
concern is that it's like, right, the byproduct, the smell. If anybody's been around a dog food plant, they'll know what that is not a pleasant smell.
if we ever get to a point where we need a plant, we will go somewhere else.
David?
If I can maybe help address the word conditional use permit is basically what it describes. This business will have conditions put on it. You mentioned the byproduct in the dirt. That could be one of the conditions that's cleaned up weekly or every day or whatever, so nobody can really see it. And it doesn't impact the environment, but there's other terms in the conditional use that gets renewed every year. And the annual planning it will be renewed 1 year from that point. Any of the conditions that are not met throughout that year, and we've had problems or whatever, then he may not get the conditional use next year. But if he abides by all the conditions that the mayor and council put on that conditional use permit, he hasn't affected it, there's been no odors, there's been no complaints, he hasn't got whatever. Now, as long as he meets the conditions of that permit, they'll continue to do business, but they have to meet the conditions first.
Does that permit, say they sell it twice, does that permit go over to the next person?
No, it does not, it does not. Conditional use permits, same thing like a business license, they don't transfer from one person to the next, or from one property to the next, it stays at that location, with that owner.
For that year.
For that year, that's correct.
Okay.
So what do you do in the middle of the winter when 30 degrees?
Freeze my boat off. No, I mean, the same standards are kept, we keep the water where it's supposed to be. I mean, there's a lot of icier conditions just around our shop, but we're really good about making sure that water stays where it's supposed to be, not out on the road, not making anyone unsafe. Just keeping it right everywhere.
So you're spraying outside,
Yeah,
but in the middle of winter?
yeah,
Okay.
It's a steam cloud.
it keeps me warm.
Any other comments, questions, concerns? Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Meeting adjourned, Barb.